Hey guys, I told you I was coming back live, right? So I'm back live. I want to talk now about, and I'm live on two streams right now. So I'm live on Instagram and I'm live here. But I'm going to be tapping out Instagram soon, guys. So you guys going to want to shoot over to Tahiri Divine on YouTube so you can catch the rest of this live because I want to talk more about Martin Kenny's the 2020 his video and my thoughts on it, some of my insights and what not whether I think he's right or wrong, but where I can line myself up. Hey, where I line myself up with what he's brought to his presentation, and then what I believe is going to be coming up as well in 2020. So, if you guys already know, 2020 is always kind of used when it talks about vision. And yeah, I knew that was you, girl. Yes, hey, love. But we know about 2020. We always hear that terminology used when it comes to vision, 2020 vision, the nuclear vision. And so, in my opinion, as well as what Martin Kenny was bringing in his video, he was talking about this new vision that everyone will have. And so, to give you guys a better understanding of what it is, we want you to understand that the place that we live in called Earth, there's this big debacle, if you want to call it that, between this idea: is the Earth a globe or is the Earth flat? And from my perspective, this just is my perspective from, and I hate using this as the research, and not just research, but just paying attention to my surroundings. And also, I share you guys, I'm a linguist, so I break down words a lot. So that's why if you guys want to join me on my Patreon, we're going to discuss language. I took a lot of linguistic courses, and I just I have interest in language and words. And back in third grade, I was in the state of Louisiana. Check me out. I'm on there. I'm on the board as the champ for the district. But anyway, so words is very important, and the words that we use is what is cast spells on our life. That's what we call writing, spelling. They're casting spells, and their language is the same way. So, in talking about language and talking about like the words horizon, when you look on a horizon, the horizon is something that's flat. Even when you pay attention to just looking at things. So, am I saying the Earth is flat? I'm saying land is flat. But I'm also saying that we don't live on a place where we perceive to be Earth. We live in a place that's more so a realm, because we have to understand we are not our bodies. And I think we kind of get that part a little twisted as identifying ourselves as a body. We're actually a soul or infinite energy that is actually being if you want to use the word incarcerated or incarbonated or incarnated in a body. So do I believe in reincarnation? I do believe in reincarnation. I believe we have lived several lives based on just my perspectives and my own intuitive insights in breaking down of language. So join me on Patreon, guys, so we can go into breaking down language and words. And you guys are going to be surprised by what you see. Or maybe you may already know it already and kind of thought about the same thing too. So we can share and learn and grow together. So what he had presented in his video, and if you follow his YouTube channel, it's called Flat Earth Universe. He has numerous other things and how he came to his consensus, and pretty much the same way I came to the same consensus as he did. I just found his channel maybe 2 months ago. I didn't even know about his channel until about 2 months ago, and yeah, December. I guess that's almost 2 months ago. And I found him through Brother Sanchez. And then Understanding is another brother I follow. And then there was another person who mentioned him before. And I was like, okay, and then by accident on Black Magic 363, I saw the video and I was like, oh my freaking God. Okay, let me check out who this Martin Kenny guy is. And I watched all his videos. And I agree with how his approach to research is as well. I've been studying occult and different ancient mythologies and religions now for 10 years. I started when I was about 19 years old. When I was in college, I just had this, it started out as the Illuminati, how everybody starts off, right? Everybody's like the Illuminati, looking at the music and the videos and the symbolism and the devil worshiping and all that jazz, right? So it started off there. Then it grew into me learning about other cultures and religions. And I was a part of the multicultural society, and I worked for multicultural affairs when I was an undergrad. So I had the wonderful opportunity to really meet a lot of different people from vast, diverse backgrounds. And I just always had a genuine interest. So that's just a little bit of my journey on what happened. So from there, I picked up my interest and started researching cultures and religions and spiritual practices, still much, a Christian at the time. And then I just get to a point in my own faith where it just, and I shared that with my witch video on what was the turning point for me to just kind of start asking different set of questions and looking at things differently. And then as far as being a linguist and breaking down words, now putting it in my cognitive recognition of recognizing of what words mean and language, understanding that. And so the concept that Martin Kennedy uses to come to his analysis is syncretism. And syncretism is looking at everything and seeing what are they, putting everything together, because everything works together, nothing's separate from itself. And I think that's really how school or compulsory education, the way we're taught, is it breaks things up. You have English, you have math, you have science, you have writing or whatever. So they break these things up and they don't really show you how it's all integrated. So when you integrate this information together, when you integrate spirituality, biology, chemistry, math, science, when you integrate all those things together, you see the bigger picture and you actually get to see yourself within the picture. Because a lot of times we're taking out the picture. And so we think we're separate from nature. We think we're separate from spirituality. We think we're separate from humanity. And so that's what causes the division, the divide among people, is because there's separatisms. And when we put everything together and see how it all ties in and what story every person's saying, because no one person or no one faith or no one has the end all be all of the information. We each carry a piece of the puzzle, and when we all put our pieces of the puzzle together, we get a bigger picture, right? So coming from studying the different mythologies, astrology, tarot, the occult knowledge, and occult, if you break down the word, O is the original, cult is culture. A cult is just the original culture, which now has become hidden. And if you know why it became hidden, based on what was happening when the rise of religions, particularly the rise of the Abrahamic religions, a lot of the original cultured people had to hide their knowledge so that it could continue to pour out and continue to be spread and not forgotten, right? It may be forgotten by the masses, but there were some people who stayed true to it to keep it. And that's why we get the tarot, and the tarot went into the playing cards. So that 52 card deck, you can actually use that as a way of reading based off the tarot. So they call that cartomancy. So a lot of things are hidden in plain sight. The powers that be, which he explains in his video, which I'm going to go and talk a little bit of that as well, of who are these players, who are these persons or players or people, that the powers that be, and what is happening and why are they losing their power, and where are we at on the cosmic clock, the galactic scale, because we're not just singling by ourselves. And so I'm kind of tying and jumping around different things, but I believe that the earth is a realm and that we live in what we call the third dimensional realm. And it is a projection because, again, if you guys remember the movie Avatar, how Jake Sully, how he was able to take his consciousness, if you want to call it that, or his soul, and put it into that the avatar, the Niobe, I think the Niobe people, into that Niobe being. And so he was a part of the Niobe being and part of their culture and experiencing life as a Niobe. I think that's the name of the people, the Navi or whatever, the Navi, and live out as Navi, and then he'll put his soul or his consciousness back into his own physical body. So if you look at that perspective, it's the same thing here. Your body is just that. It's an avatar. If you want to make it even more simple, it's your space suit, because we're in space. So I don't think there's such thing as outer space. If Earth is in space, then you're in space. So therefore you're outer space. Therefore you're an alien in your space suit on the mothership, which we call Gaia or Earth. Okay, if you want to put it in that perspective there. But so what has taken place and what's happening right now? There's a lot of talk right now. If you guys are in this circle, which I am in the circle, about the North Pole, what's the North Pole, and so much of the mythologies and the stories and the myths talk about that on a grand scale on the North. We even in the Christian Bible, they talk about it with the three wise men who were actually astrologers. They were following the stars to get to the king, right? Which was the Savior, the Messiah, Jesus, or excuse me, or Yahushua, whatever name you prefer. So again, following the stars. What is our main star in our solar system, or in our system that, well, it is a solar system. So that is true. It is a solar system that we live in, but it's not that the earth revolves around the sun. It's the sun revolving around the earth, and the moon revolves around the earth as well. Based on, if you guys look at how he explained on his clock and his scale and how he came up with that model, from all the different things he studied to put together, the earth is actually a standstill place, and the stars and the planets and all those are revolving around it. And he talks about the place of being the North Star, which is the where all compasses point to. If you look at compass, it has the word compassion has the word compass in it. So your heart, which is compassion, is always being pointed to the North Star. So it's a magnetic energy. You understand on a scientific level what you are. We're electromagnetic energy. Your heart, it lives based off electromagnetic energy. My daughter actually pointed this out to me as far as gravity is concerned, and it was actually confirmed. We were watching a old episode of Bill Nye the Science Guy on Netflix, and it was about gravity. And no, it wasn't about gravity. It was about magnetic energy. And she tied it together. She's like, "Oh, mom, it was something about I can't remember exactly what happened. I had to watch the episode again, but she explained it so much better than I can. But talking about, I think that's how gravity works. I think we're just magnets, and we're just connected. That's how we stay grounded to the earth. That's why you don't float away." And I was like, "What?" And I thought about it. Well, she's like, "Well, if the heart is electromagnetic energy and the earth is magnetism, and we know the north is a magnetic pull and everything points to the north, then doesn't that make sense to say that maybe we're magnets connected to the earth?" And when you think of it that way, and then understanding, knowing that dust to dust, our bodies are the same composition of nature. We're not outside of nature. We are nature itself. That makes a whole lot of sense. So I'm like, "You might got something there, kid." And she was 7 at the time when she pointed that out to me. Hey, pay to these kids, these babies be knowing, they be knowing. But so I'm saying all this to tie into what the realm that we live in, and to recognize that there are more realms and there's more lands, more than just the ones that we know as the 7 or 8 continents. Even that word alone is interesting. Oh my God, I'm telling you, we're gonna have a fun time in Patreon. I'm telling you, I'll share a little bit, but I'm telling you, we're gonna go deep on and this language thing, because language, it shapes your life. The words that we speak shape your life. It shapes your mental, and it shapes your life. So if you want to change your mental and change your life, you're going to have to change your words, or at least recognize what you're saying if you're going to use these words. But anyway, so let's get to 2020. I mean, I don't want to get to too much in what he was talking about. I agree with what he's saying, that I believe there's more realms. We are separated from the different realms with the ice ring. What we know is the South Pole. Antarctica is actually a ring. If you guys ever looked into Antarctica, why is it that all nations all agree that nobody can go to that Antarctica, but they can't agree with anything else? They're always fighting with each other, but when it comes to that, they agree. But anyway, just that was something weird. Even when you think about the word officer, like a police officer, they only have Oh, okay. Gosh, I should have brought my whiteboard. See, that's what we're gonna have to work on a Patreon. But I'll use this word. There's no law when it comes to ice. That's no man's land, right? There's no law on there. So the police can only pull off the ice. So think of officer off ice. They can only police us or pull us or polarize us off ice. Okay, so that's not a play on words. That's really when you break down the etymology, the phonetics, and also the originator, where the words come from. It expands your mind to what we're really saying and how our language came about. And it wasn't the evil white man. No, it's deeper than that, people. It's a lot deeper. It's beyond race. Okay, as you guys probably seen from the video where he explained where he believes the different races come from. the root races that we know as what we'll call Caucasian, Negroid, or African, Anglo, well, not necessarily Anglo because that's actually still African, but we'll get into that a little later. Get into that deeper in another way. But I want to talk about the events. We are in the age of Aquarius, right? So if you guys understand from astrology, Aquarius is an air sign. It's a fixed air sign. Although it's known as the water bearer, it's a heavy earth energy. So we left the age of Aquarius. I'm sorry, we left the age of Pisces to enter the age of Aquarius. Pisces is a mutable water sign. Yes, it's a mutable water sign because Scorpio is more so fixed. So it's a mutable water sign. So this is why when every time we step into a new age, which is about 26,000, 3,000 years, right around between that, we step into a new age. And with each new age, as he explained in the video, there is a different cataclysm that takes place or some kind of natural phenomenon, either a disaster or some sort that takes place. So when we were leaving the age of, I guess we'll be leaving the age of not Capricorn, Aries. Yeah. So when we were leaving the age of Aries to go into Pisces, it was a great water storm because Pisces is ruled by water. So this is why every ancient culture that we know as of now talks about a great flood. And I believe previous to that, ancient cultures were probably talking about a great fire that took place because they were in the Aries age of the ram. And so he breaks that down too in the Bible. There is a dream that I believe it was King Nebuchadnezzar had, and I believe it was only Daniel was able to interpret the dream. And the dream was about it was like a soldier who had an iron head, I think it was, a bronze chest, or it was a gold head, silver chest, bronze belly, legs that were like iron, and the feet that were like clay, right? And if you really break down what that is talking about, it's not so much, it's talking about different ages and different rulerships and different awakenings that we have in. So the age that we left was the Piscean age, which was under the Iron Age. So we're leaving the Iron Age and we're stepping into the Aquarius age, which is now the Bronze Age. And so this is why all these ancient cultures all talk about a great flood, because there was a great flood that cleared everything out and Earth started fresh again. If you guys remember in The Matrix, right? Oh, we're gonna break down movies too, guys. We're gonna have too much fun in my Patreon. We gonna have fun. But in the movie The Matrix, where I think it was the second one, when Neo found the key maker, and the key maker revealed to him that this happens every about so many years. They create a new life or new land. Humans create a new land, then they create computers, then computers take over, and then there's a wipeout again, and they do it all over again and do it all over again, do it over again. Because it's a wipeout. It's a fresh new start, then a wipeout. Fresh new start, you live your life, you live this through an age, and then that age gets wiped out to do another one. That is the constant death and rebirth process. If you guys are familiar with the goddess Kali, which is on my wall right there, I hope you see her. Depending on where y'all at, y'all see her on my wall. She is the goddess of death and rebirth. And so there's always a death and destruction that takes place, but destruction is actually an opportunity for creation. It's opportunity for birth. People focus so much on the destruction part, they don't realize it's making way and clearing way for something new, for something new to be taken, and just a new start. It's a new start. So you have to have that destruction process. Even if you think about breaking down on when a sperm and an egg comes together, there's a destruction process that takes place. There, it goes into the egg and the sperm goes into meiosis, and meiosis is now a breaking away, a destruction taking place to birth something new. So don't get scared and whoa, my God, it's destruction. No, destruction's okay. It's okay. Sometimes you have to tear things down to build back up. Okay. So now we know about the Great Flood. So that's why all these ancient cultures talk about the Great Flood, because there was a Great Flood that happened. Now that we're in the age of Pisces, which started in December 20, 2012, the Mayan calendar was not talking about the end of the world. It was actually talking about the end of an age. And we have a 7-year period between that time frame before the new age is fully in motion, or before the reset. And so every year from 2012, we have been getting different trumpets that have been sounding off to let us know, to prepare us for this new age. Now, what has happened because of the people or the powers that be, these entities, beings, and people who know and have the knowledge, they have not been doing their due diligence to ensure that the vast humanity is going to be prepared for this new age, because they want to hold on to their way of living. That is why we're hearing so much about going to Mars. And as you guys see from the video, from his presentation, that's all code talk. There's no going to Mars. There's no going to the moon. They never did that. So we get their mind. It never happened. Okay, guys? They played us. Okay? They played us. That's all right, though. It's okay. Not really. Anyway, Mars is actually code word for the other lands off the ice, on the other side of the ice, because on the other side of the ice, that's that group of land, which will probably, what he calls and believes to be the Lemurian area, is where they're going backwards in time. Or, well, they're not going backwards in time, but it's kind of like going backwards in time if you're looking at where we're going forward into the Bronze Age. That side of the ice is going backwards into they're falling from their Golden Age and going to their Iron Age. So the people who are in power now are trying to go over there to keep their power and to bring that same mindset they had here in this realm over there, so they can keep their control and keep their power. And so that's what's being happened right there. So I want to say this. So what is 2020? What's supposed to be happening? I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but I know where I'm at right now. We have been getting some crazy wind. Have y'all been getting wind where you're at? If you guys been getting wind, let me know. Or have y'all been noticing that, like, the pickup with winds, it just seems a little more heavier than usual or more windier than usual? But I know back home has been getting a lot of winds. I had a few friends tell me, like, yeah, it's been windy as hell. It's crazy. But I know for where I'm at, the wind is mother freaking ridiculous. It sounds like a train. And I live near I live in like an industrial part, like the industrial part of the city where it's like trains are going by and I'm near bridges and shit. And like at night, you would think it's a train, but it's the mother freaking wind. It's crazy and it's strong and it's it's interesting. But I only foresee that these winds are picking up. I know right now there's like this terrible cold front that's been going on from like the north to like the west, well, the northwest down to the Midwest and other areas has been getting a lot of cold temperatures. So y'all be prepared, be warm, keep yourself warm. But I just want you guys to know, if you guys have been noticing, that's all part of what's taking place. And then I mentioned this before, and I saw this when Trump announced Pence as his running mate. Trump Pence. Believe it or not, y'all, Trump is still a saving grace. As much as y'all may think he's dumb and ignorant and stupid, he's not. He's really not. He's playing his role, because everybody's playing a role, guys. Play your role in this wonderful movie called Life. We're all playing roles and everybody's playing their position. From him to Kanye to all the other stars, celebrities are playing their roles, whether consciously or unconsciously. Some are conscious of it, some are unconscious of it. Everybody's playing a role, and Trump is really our saving grace if you really pay attention to it. I'm saying saving grace as in he is really playing the role to help expose the fuckery of the government and a few other things that's taking place in the world and in life. And you guys just kind of pay attention and look at things from an esoteric point of view and not so much from an emotional standpoint. You kind of see how shit's interesting. His speech, coded as hell. That speech was so coded. It made, oh my God. But anyway, I'll talk about the speech another time. But I want to go into 2020. So 2020 is the time where this event should take place. This catastrophic, if it is catastrophic, depending on who it is, event take place. Now, I share with you guys Bird Box. I truly believe what Bird Box is saying, not saying it's going to be an actual thing like that everybody's going to go crazy and start killing itself. No. But I think Bird Box is kind of on that realm or in that flow of what is happening or what is to come as far as this new energy that's coming to the earth, because it's going to be a reset. So a lot of people are not going to make it for whatever reasons. Some will. But there's definitely going to be a reset. from what Martin Kinney said in his video, he believes it to be a like an explosion taking place from the North Pole. And if you guys follow that, again, astrology, Saturn right now is known for its rings. You can't see Saturn right now with the naked eye, but if you ever get yourself a telescope and kind of check out Saturn, you can kind of see it right between the hours of 3 a.m. to 6. The rings are becoming lighter and lighter. And based off the occult information, the occult knowledge of what Saturn represents, Saturn's rings are supposedly the plasma. And if you know what plasma is, I'm not talking about the plasma in your blood. No, not the plasma centers are taking that from your blood. But the fourth state of matter is plasma. So that's your soul. And we can go deeper into this information on my Patreon, guys, so we can all be on the same page on what's taking place. But I share with you guys in my Alchemy and Mysticism book that I have. It's a really thick book. It was like $30 last year. I just checked it on Amazon the other day. It's like $75. Yikes. But when you learn alchemy and you understand matter and the spiritual nature of it and the physical nature and how they're both one and the same, those rings that's around Saturn is actually they're fading away. They're fading away, and some call that the ancestors are coming back because we're coming in a place in time based on the galactic calendar where all the realms are going to be in one accord with each other, so that those ice walls will come down, or even what Martin Kinney calls the Taurus field is opening up, or what science calls the ozone layer. That's why it seems like it's getting hotter, because it's not just our sun that's coming in, it's the other realm suns coming in. That's what they talk about, the second sun, Nibiru, these different thought processes of what's happening based on the ancient mythologies, and not just mythologies, but ancient history and what's written on the walls of Egypt, the Sumerian texts, the emerald tablets, the writings of Thoth and Hermes. All these are really great books to read to kind of get yourself in tune to what's taking place, even down to the Book of Enoch, which is so eye-opening. Oh my God, like the fires that happened in California, that was all there. Even if you pay attention to the music videos now, like Travis Scott's Sicko Mode, that new one right now out by a Future. I can't remember the name of the song, but he's like climbing the ladder and it's like that big ass moon sun behind him. Lil Wayne with XXXTentacion's video that dropped. It's like, I'm telling you, the coding is like it's all in our face. Even if you listen to the lyrics, and one thing about Lil Wayne, he's always been on it. And people like to dismiss people because they look a certain way, but he's been on it. Like the lyrics in that song ties in. Michael Jackson's been getting a lot of symbolism from his album covers and his music as well about this time that's coming that we're in, of the shifting from one age to the next and how to prepare yourself. And this is why veganism is being pushed heavy. But even with that, even with the this flat earth information coming out, veganism being pushed, transgender agenda, these different agendas that are being pushed out, they're not bad, but you have to understand that they're being corrupted by the people who are in power, because they know that even swirling and interracial dating is being kind of pushed more and more. It's a little late for that. They should have been pushing that 100 years ago. I think a lot of people would have been in a better predicament right now on this race, black, white thing. I'm not even going to get into that situation going that particular celebrity right now, because I have my own viewpoints on what that may be about. But all these things are important, tying into the science of melanin, the spiritual nature of melanin, why melanin is important. So I think that's one agenda why swirling is being pushed, which is not a bad thing, but it's like, I won't say it's too late, but it's like that should have been pushed 100 years ago. Okay, that would have made more sense to this. Even the same thing with being open to gay and transgendered persons, because now I think it's being forced, and it's being forced in a way where it's not natural for a lot of people. It's not a natural, smooth transition to understand why that's being pushed, or even it's being indoctrinated right now with these unicorns. It's a lot happening. I'm talking about a lot of things at once that I know a lot of people may not grasp as yet. But hey, get on my Patreon. We can study and learn together and share and get on the popping. But this is what I want to say on my viewpoints, because I love, because a lot of things that he's given in his video, I do recognize, and I do intuitively feel the same way as far as the different realms, as far as the root races. Whether I think the root races the way he explains is right or not, that's neither here and there right now. But what I do agree with, that we are in a cosmic shift where there is going to take place a reset, and this reset will be an air reset. So air represents, like, if you know tarot and knowledge and of the tarot, everything like that. Air represents thought process, patterns, your mental capability. So I think not only on a natural scale will we experience more heavier these winds or wind storms. I also believe it's a natural mental thing as well, where people's minds are going. And that's why I say I kind of go back to Bird Box. When people were seeing these energetic beings, right? Something tapped into them mentally that made them snap. And I know a lot of people were thinking about the movies about depression, about this. I say, yeah, that's one aspect of it. But the other aspect is what's being depressed. Because what is the word? If we break down the word depression, something's being pressed down, decompressed, pushed in, right? And it needs to come out. So a lot of people are carrying a lot of hurts, angers, frustrations, ancestral hurts, angers, and frustrations. So this stuff is being pushed in the DNA and the cells. And so if you don't take time to acknowledge it and heal those areas of your life, when this new energetic shift comes, I think a lot of people will have an explosion in some kind. I don't know, but I'm just intuitively feeling some kind of explosion of some kind that's going to really how should I say this, have them not be able to fully stand in what's taking place or even realize what's taking place. Because right now we have Jupiter and Sagittarius, and Jupiter is the stage, and Sagittarius is about knowledge and expansion. And I think, I know there's so much things that's taking place in our reality that people have no idea about. And for those who are really stuck in their box, I really feel like their box is going to is going to pressure them down even more when this event takes place, whether it happens directly on December 20th, 2020 or not. It's definitely going to come within our lifetime. And the best way, from what I understand, to prepare, that I've been intuitive led, I told you guys in my Instagram, I've been led months ago to really get more serious about my health and detoxing and preparing my body. And if you think of it as like being prepared as a bride, preparing for her groom, if you want to use it in the biblical sense of what the Bible is saying, as far as there's a preparation period, even down to like the story of Queen Esther. Before Hadassah could even go before the king, she had to go through a year process of purification and preparation. And I truly believe that this is our year of process, preparation, and purification to prepare ourselves for the second coming, if you want to call it that, which is really the coming into yourself. I think when they talk about people have magical powers or whatever you want to perceive to be magic, I believe that will be true, because humanity is much more than what we think it is. We are wonderful, amazing beings, and when we truly tap into our full potential, we can do some amazing things, and we can really shift our reality, our perception of our reality, into something better than what it was, because we were under a time when we were asleep. That Piscean age is really, Pisces is that dreamy state. It's ruled by Neptune. It was a dream. We were in a dream state for so long. That's why things like religion was able to come in place, and believing was really important versus knowing and seeking, and that following, like the fish just going by with the water. We're not questioning nothing. We're just going with the flow. And romance. So we had some really great, beautiful things that came out of the Piscean age. I don't want to make it seem like it was all bad or drag. I mean, there's just people who use that time frame, who had the knowledge, who use the time frame to manipulate the masses to get where they're at today. But the beautiful things that came out of the Piscean age was the aspect of love and romance, and writings and stories and music. That was a very beautiful time for those artistic natures to flow. It can still flow within Aquarius age, because our Aquariuses are still very artistic well, but now it's more known. That's why we're seeing a lot more symbolism in our music, a lot more in our artwork, because now we're going from believing to knowing. and stepping into a higher state of our consciousness and preparing ourselves for our next phase, for the reset, for the new heaven, the new earth, if you want to call it that. So I'm excited. I don't know for sure if, as he states in his video, Martin Kenney states in his video, he believes that all realms will come together. I think so too. I think that may happen as well. I believe that the new clear vision will be that we will be able to see. I think we're going to be able to see everything for what it is. So whatever that is, whatever that means, I'm not going to put a state claim to what it should be or what it may be, but I truly believe that we will see everything for what it is, everyone, everything. And I'm excited. I think it's going to be a beautiful time for those who are prepared for it and for those who are not. I don't know what to say to you. It just is what it is. There's a little more people who's a little bit more morbid about it than I am. And as much as positive I think I am, I think I could come across a little morbid a little bit. I don't mean to. But that's just my thoughts on Martin Kenney's video. And I really appreciate his study, his time, his work on this, because not everybody has time to do that. And so, y'all, I'm saying, please give to your teachers and healers who are bringing forth knowledge and information to you, because people give up their whole life. Because this is what I love what Martin Kenney said. He said, I wasn't interested in seeking lies. I didn't care about exposing lies. I care about truth. And if truth exposed the lies, then that's just what truth does. Because at the end of the day, truth don't need no believing. Truth is gonna be what it is. I just want to seek truth. And that's something where I come from. I don't care. In the beginning, when I first started my journey, when I was doing the Illuminati, I was about trying to seek out the lies of the enemy. The devil out here lying to the people. And I'm going to seek out the lies. And when you seek out lies, you find lies. But then, okay, once you find out the lies, then what do you do? No, okay. I had to reset myself. Like, I want truth. I don't care about the lies. I don't care about emotionalism. I can take anything. I tell people I can literally take anything. Like, what's not a popular opinion is, yeah, I think Obama was a nice guy, maybe, but he also has some fucked up policies that he put in place too. If you look at some of his global policies and other things, it's like you can do both. We live in a duality. There's people who do good and people who don't do good, and it's the same person. Same thing with Trump. I can see the good in Trump and I can see the fuckery of Trump. But do I make an emotional decision on how I move on things? No. Recognize for what it is, peep game, and move accordingly. That's all you can do. Even when it comes down to people in your family members, like, I don't know, you can't, as much as hard as it may seem, it's not that hard. It's very simple. It's about taking out emotionalism. Not saying that you're not going to feel anything, you're not going to feel happiness, sadness, no, but don't base your decision making on emotion. Look at everything for what it is. What is the facts in it? What is the truth in it? And what is that you could take and learn from this? Because at the end of the day, we came here to learn, and we came here to go back home. And home could be whatever home is to you. To me, if you want to call it heaven, I call it heaven too. I'm getting back to the ethers. I'm tired of being on earth. I've been here too long. If I come back, I'm coming back as a billionaire. Now that I know what I need to do. So I've been doing it wrong for so long. But that's another conversation for another time. But that's just what I want to share, because this video is longer than I wanted to be, and I got some friends I got to run. But join me on my Patreon, guys, where we can actually get in and talk about some more heavier stuff. I love alchemy. I love tarot. I love astrology. I love all these tools to get us back to the self. And what is the self? Our oneness with our higher self, with God, if you want to call it that. I mean, if you need to call it that, that's cool too. But I talk to y'all later. I'll be back another time. Until that, peace.